Hello and welcome to Kanchanaburi. Today we are going to be travelling through Kanchanaburi province. We're going to have a look at Kanchanaburi, we're going to have a look at the bridge over the River Kwai, we're going to have a look at some of the war cemeteries. If you haven't been watching, you should. I've been travelling from north to south along the border of Myanmar and we're on the last leg. We're going south, we're heading to Ranong. Let's go. We have come to Kanchanaburi, not far from the Burmese border, as it's where many of the surviving relics of the Japanese-built Burma Railway still exist. Between 1942 and 1943, Japan constructed a railway line that would link Thailand with Burma. At that time, the formerly British colony of Burma was being occupied by Japan, whereas Thailand had been forced into an alliance with Japan. The main problem with building such a project was that the border area between the two countries is both very mountainous and covered in jungle, making it extremely difficult to get through. Many rivers also needed to be crossed, which called for the construction of bridges, like this one. Japan used both captured Allied servicemen and locals in the construction of the railway, an undertaking known for its brutally harsh working conditions with over 12,000 people dying over the course of the railway's construction. And so, Kanchanaburi has become a stop on the tourist trail for seeing where the railway was and to see some of the old rolling stock, but also to visit the Warg Graves to see where many people who perished building this project are remembered. Only in Thailand would you have a prisoner of war camp themed bar. I don't think a trip to Kanchanaburi would be complete without seeing the war graves that are here. So yeah, have a look. Of all the things that there are in Thailand, I don't think there's much written Welsh. It's good to come here and see the railway and see the territory, see the land that they had to build the bridge and the railway line through, but it's good to get a sense of scale of how many people died while building it. One thing I didn't know is I didn't know quite how many Dutch were involved. I'll show you what I mean. There are many, I think 800 or so Dutch graves here. Van der Veen. Yeah, I personally was unaware. I know about how many people from my own country and also parts of the Commonwealth. We saw a memorial to soldiers from India and Pakistan and the Indian subcontinent that had died here as well. And I knew about that, but I didn't know quite how many Dutch. I didn't know there was as many Dutch here. So yeah, it's good to learn something new. I guess when I was younger I didn't find these kind of places emotional because there's just so many gravestones, it becomes a bit overwhelming, but not in the emotional sense. But as I've got older, I think it seems a little bit silly to focus on one or two gravestones and pick out something like the thing that was in Welsh, or maybe you find a gravestone that's Jewish or comes from somewhere near you or has the same surname as you or your friend or whatever. There's so many people here, you don't want to feel like you're, ignoring the many and focusing on a few details. But I kind of think it's the only way that you can really relate on some small level. It's the only way that you can really understand something so big, so many graves, is by the minute and the personal. There's some corner of a foreign field that is forever England. So Hellfire Pass is this infamous and difficult pass that the soldiers, prisoners of war and civilians had to construct and had to dig, had to pass through, had to blast through the mountains themselves in order to join the part of the railway that was being built from Burma and connect that with the part of the railway that was being built from Siam, Thailand. So yeah, and this was one of the most difficult stretches. Yeah, it's run as a kind of museum, yes, but also as like a bit of a place of mourning, a place of contemplation, a place where people can think about what happened here the relatives of people that can come and have a look. Anyway, let's go on to the pass. Yes, that's all correct. Hellfire Pass is a 75-metre long stretch of the Tenasserim Hills that was to be cut through in order for the Japanese to complete the Burma Railway. The dense rock, remote location, intense conditions and inhuman working hours created the hellish conditions that gave this pass its name. Both Allied prisoners of war, mainly Australian, British and Dutch, and local workers from Malaysia toiled at Hellfire Pass. Both were treated badly. Men worked for up to 18 hours a day trying to make their way through the mountains, and at least 700 people died in the 6 weeks of construction at Hellfire Pass. On the walls of the pass you can still see some of the holes that were drilled by the prisoners, who then used explosives to blast through the rock. After the war, the Burma Railway stopped being used, and lots of sections, including Hellfire Pass, were reclaimed by jungle overgrowth, only being rediscovered and cleared in the 1980s. Now it's open again for us to witness for ourselves the incredible work these poor souls had to undertake. The Australian government built and runs this site here, which now hosts an Anzac Day memorial annually. Thanks for watching this video about an important part of history that links so many countries and people to this Thai Myanmar border region. See you next time.